The night was still, the kind of quiet that hums with anticipation, as if the universe itself were holding its breath. In a darkened control room, bathed in the soft glow of monitors, a team of astronomers sat hunched over their stations, guiding the James Webb Space Telescope through its routine dance across the cosmos. It was just another deep space scan, methodical, almost mundane, charting the familiar chaos of the asteroid belt between Mars and Jupiter. The telescope's infrared eyes traced thermal patterns, mapping the predictable spin of rocks and debris that had orbited the sun for eons. But then, something stirred. A flicker on the screen, a shadow where none should be. It drifted, not in the steady arc of an asteroid, but with a strange, deliberate grace. Then, impossibly, it slowed. Time seemed to freeze in that sterile room, the hum of machinery fading as every eye locked onto the anomaly. This was no rock, no shard of ice. It was something else, something that didn't belong. Spectral scans poured in, revealing not the dull signatures of stone or gas, but the sharp glint of metal, engineered and alien, glowing with a warmth that defied the icy void. Faint electromagnetic pulses whispered from its core, like a heartbeat in the dark. It moved against the tug of gravity, weaving a path that mocked the laws of motion. And in that moment, a question crashed over the team like a tidal wave. What is this thing? And why is it here, in a corner of space we thought we knew so well? The discovery hit like a spark in dry grass, igniting a firestorm of wonder and unease. The object, whatever it was, wasn't just passing through. It was behaving, acting with a purpose that felt unnervingly intentional. In the hours that followed, the control room buzzed with frenetic energy. Scientists pored over the data, their voices a mix of disbelief and exhilaration. "This can't be right," one muttered, recalibrating the telescope's sensors for the third time. But the readings held firm. The object's surface reflected heat in ways no natural body could, its metallic composition gleaming under the telescope's gaze like a polished blade. Its trajectory was a puzzle, a series of gentle curves and sudden pauses that defied the rigid paths of Kepler's laws. Asteroids don't decelerate on their own. Comets don't glow from within. And yet, here it was, an intruder in a neighborhood we'd spent decades mapping, slipping through the asteroid belt like a ghost. The team cross-checked their findings with ground-based observatories, Goldstone's radar, Subaru's lenses, but the results only deepened the mystery. This was no glitch, no trick of light. It was real, and it was moving with a precision that felt alive. To understand the weight of this moment, you have to picture the asteroid belt itself, a cosmic river of debris stretching between Mars and Jupiter. It's a place of ancient violence, where millions of rocky fragments, from grains of dust to the dwarf planet Ceres, whirl in stable orbits around the sun. For centuries, we've studied this belt, cataloging its families of asteroids, their spins and tilts as predictable as a clock's tick. Trojan asteroids, locked in Jupiter's gravitational embrace, drift in orderly clusters at Lagrange points, while Hilda groups weave their own intricate patterns. The belt is our backyard, a testament to the solar system's chaotic birth, its secrets laid bare by telescopes and probes. Or so we thought. This object didn't fit. It had no family, no known orbit. Its chemistry was alien, not the carbon-rich chondrites or silicates of typical asteroids, nor the icy sheen of comets. It was a stranger, glowing with an inner warmth that spoke of something crafted, not born. And as it drifted through the belt, ignoring the gravitational rules that bound everything else, it forced a chilling realization. Space, for all our maps and models, still holds secrets that can upend everything we know. The James Webb Space Telescope, humanity's most powerful eye in the sky, was uniquely suited to catch this enigma. Its infrared vision, sharper than any before it, could pierce the cold darkness of the asteroid belt, picking out faint thermal glows and chemical fingerprints invisible to older instruments. JWST's spectrometers dissected the object's light, revealing metallic lines that shimmered with an eerie clarity. Its thermal imaging tracked the object's heat, noting how it clung to warmth long after passing out of sunlight, like a coal smoldering in the night. And its motion tracking, frame by frame, captured the moment it slowed, a subtle shift that no natural body could manage. This wasn't just a rock tumbling through space. It was adjusting its course, braking and turning with a precision that sent shivers down the spines of those watching. To confirm their findings, the team synced with Earth's radar arrays, bouncing signals off the object to map its shape and surface. The echoes came back sharp, metallic, and unnervingly smooth. Radio telescopes tuned in, catching a faint, steady hum in the electromagnetic spectrum, a signal too regular to be cosmic noise, too weak to be a beacon, but too persistent to ignore. Each new piece of data tightened the knot of tension in the control room. This wasn't just an anomaly. It was a challenge to everything we thought possible. As the hours turned to days, the object's behavior grew stranger still. It didn't just drift, it danced. JWST logged multiple instances of acceleration and deceleration, each one logged with meticulous care. These weren't the gentle nudges of solar radiation or gravitational tugs. They were deliberate, controlled, like a ship adjusting its sails. The team ran simulations, testing every natural explanation they could muster. Collisions, outgassing, even rare gravitational quirks. Nothing fit. Observatories like JPL's Odin and ESA's network confirmed the same. The object was steering itself. The word intentional began to creep into hushed conversations, a term too heavy to say aloud. Scientists are trained to avoid leaps, to cling to the known, but the data was relentless. The object's spectral signature, with its alloy-like patterns, didn't match any known meteorite or asteroid class. Its thermal inertia, the way it held heat like a forged blade, ruled out rocky or icy compositions. And that faint electromagnetic buzz, pulsing like a distant signal, kept analysts awake at night. Was it a power source, a communication, or just the echo of something long dormant, now stirring? The questions piled up, each one more unsettling than the last, as the object continued its silent journey through the belt. The asteroid belt, once a symbol of cosmic order, now felt like a stage for something far grander and far stranger. The object's presence was a reminder that our solar system, for all its familiarity, is vast and untamed. It moved through the belt's Trojan zones, those stable pockets where asteroids cluster in gravitational harmony with Mars or Jupiter. But unlike the rocks that parked there, locked in their eternal orbits, this object didn't settle. It glided through, skimming the invisible boundaries of Lagrange points with a precision that felt calculated. Simulations showed it shouldn't be possible. Objects in these zones either stay or scatter, shaped by the relentless pull of gravity. Yet this one wove between them, untouched, like a needle threading a cosmic tapestry. The team watched, breathless, as it passed through Mars' L4 point, then L5, never pausing, never faltering. It was as if it knew the map better than we did, navigating a path we couldn't predict. And with each maneuver, the question grew louder. Was this thing lost, or was it exactly where it meant to be? The question hung in the air like a star that refused to fade. Was this object, this metallic enigma weaving through the asteroid belt, merely a cosmic fluke? Or was it something more? A messenger from a place we couldn't yet fathom. The James Webb Space Telescope continued its vigilant watch, its infrared gaze locked on the intruder as it danced through the void. Each new data point was a brushstroke on a canvas of mystery, painting a picture that grew more vivid and more unsettling with every pass. The object's movements were no longer just anomalies. They were performances, deliberate and precise, like a performer stepping carefully across a stage. It slowed again, then shifted laterally, a maneuver so subtle yet so purposeful that it sent ripples of awe and dread through the team. Scientists whispered over coffee-stained notebooks, their voices low, as if speaking too loudly might disturb the thing millions of miles away. The control room, once a place of routine, had become a crucible of possibility, where every beep of a monitor carried the weight of a question humanity had asked for centuries. Are we alone? And if we're not, what does it mean that something, someone, might already be here, hiding in the shadows of our own solar system? The data kept coming, relentless and unyielding. JWST's spectrometers dissected the object's light, revealing a composition that didn't belong in our cosmic neighborhood. The metallic signatures were sharp, almost artificial, with absorption lines that matched no known asteroid or meteorite. It wasn't just metal, it was an alloy, something that hinted at forging, at intent. The thermal readings were even stranger. In the frigid expanse of the asteroid belt, where temperatures plunged to near absolute zero, this object glowed with a stubborn warmth, as if it carried a fire within. It wasn't reflecting sunlight like a typical rock. It was radiating, holding heat like a living thing. And then there was the electromagnetic hum, faint but persistent, a whisper in the radio spectrum that refused to fade. It wasn't loud enough to be a signal meant for us, but it was there, steady as a pulse, suggesting something active, something awake. The team cross-referenced these findings with every database they had: meteorite samples, asteroid classifications, even the exotic materials of interstellar visitors like Oumuamua. Nothing matched. This wasn't just an oddity, it was an impossibility, a thing that shouldn't exist yet did, gliding through the belt with a grace that felt almost mocking. To make sense of it, the scientists turned to the past, sifting through the archives of the solar system's history. Could this be a relic from the dawn of our cosmic home, a fragment of the primordial chaos that birthed the planets? 4.5 billion years ago, the solar nebula churned with dust and gas, coalescing into worlds and flinging others into the void. Some fragments, rich with rare isotopes or noble gases, survived as time capsules, untouched by the geologic churn of planets. The team hunted for signs of these ancient markers in the object's spectrum, hoping for a clue that it was a survivor from that violent birth. But the data resisted. Primordial relics were rocky, icy, not metallic. They didn't maneuver, didn't hum with electromagnetic whispers. The object's behavior, its deliberate shifts and turns, felt too modern, too engineered. If it was a relic, it was unlike any we'd ever imagined, a piece of the solar system's infancy that somehow carried the fingerprints of design. The hypothesis tantalized but didn't satisfy. It was a stretch, and the scientists knew it, their minds already drifting to a possibility far more audacious. What if this wasn't a relic at all, but a craft? The word felt dangerous, almost taboo, yet it kept surfacing in late-night debates. The object's behavior mirrored technology we knew. Small spacecraft, like CubeSats, used thrusters to nudge their paths, powered by reactors or solar panels that could explain the thermal glow. The electromagnetic hum could be telemetry, a beacon, or even the faint leakage of a dormant system. The team drew parallels to human engineering, but the leap to something non-human was impossible to ignore. If this was a probe, crafted by an intelligence beyond Earth, what was it doing here? Was it watching, waiting, or simply passing through? The idea was staggering, a spark that could ignite a revolution in how we see ourselves in the cosmos. But it wasn't just the science that gripped them, it was the emotion. The thought of a designed object, hidden in plain sight between Mars and Jupiter, stirred a primal mix of fear and wonder. It was as if the universe had whispered a secret we weren't ready to hear, and now it was up to us to decide what to do with it. The global scientific community mobilized with a fervor rarely seen. Observatories across the planet turned their eyes to the asteroid belt. NASA's Goldstone radar pinged the object, its echoes confirming the metallic surface, smooth and reflective in ways no natural rock could be. Australia's Parkes telescope joined the hunt, sweeping the radio spectrum for any hint of a stronger signal. Archival data from retired missions like the Spitzer Space Telescope revealed faint traces of the object's past passes, glimpses that suggested it had been here before, lurking unnoticed until JWST's keen eyes caught it in the act. The more they looked, the stranger it became. The object's trajectory took it through the Trojan zones, those gravitational havens where asteroids linger in stable orbits. But it didn't linger. It slipped through Mars's Lagrange points with a precision that defied the natural chaos of the belt, as if it knew exactly where it was going. Simulations failed to explain its path. No model of gravity or radiation pressure could account for its maneuvers. It was navigating, and that single fact shifted the conversation from curiosity to urgency. Behind closed doors, the stakes grew higher. NASA, ESA, and other space agencies formed a task force, pulling in experts from planetary science to signal analysis. Military liaisons joined the fray, not because the object seemed hostile, but because its unknown origin raised questions no one could answer. Was it a forgotten human project? A classified satellite gone rogue? The possibility was explored and quickly dismissed. No nation claimed it, and no technology on Earth matched its profile. The alternative, an extraterrestrial origin, was too explosive to voice publicly, but it hung over every meeting. Internal memos, later leaked to the science blogosphere, revealed a tension between openness and caution. Some data, like the object's precise size and orbital path, remained redacted, fueling whispers of secrecy. Scientists pushed for transparency, arguing that the public deserved to know, but officials, citing national security, kept certain details locked away. One researcher, speaking anonymously, captured the mood. If this is just a rock, why the silence? And if it's not, who gets to decide what we're allowed to know? The public, meanwhile, was catching fire. Social media erupted with theories, from plausible to outlandish. Some called it an alien probe, others a lost artifact from a long-dead civilization. News outlets dubbed it the Intruder, a name that stuck, carrying both menace and mystery. Documentaries sprang up, blending science with speculation, while philosophers and futurists weighed in on what it meant for humanity to face the unknown. For some, it was a beacon of hope, proof we weren't alone. For others, it was a mirror, reflecting our unpreparedness for a truth too big to grasp. The object, silent and distant, had become a canvas for our deepest fears and dreams. It wasn't just a scientific puzzle, it was a cultural earthquake, shaking the foundations of how we see our place in the universe. And as the world watched, the object kept moving, its path a quiet challenge to everything we thought we understood. The object, now a global obsession, drifted on, its metallic sheen catching the faint light of the sun as it carved its enigmatic path through the asteroid belt. The James Webb Space Telescope, humanity's sentinel in the void, tracked its every move, capturing each subtle shift with a precision that only deepened the mystery. It wasn't just moving, it was choosing its way, slipping through gravitational currents like a ship charting uncharted seas. The world watched, breathless, as scientists scrambled to decode its purpose. Was it a silent observer, a relic of a lost civilization, or something stranger still? The data offered no answers, only questions that burned brighter with each passing day. Its faint electromagnetic hum, like a whisper from the edge of time, pulsed steadily, a reminder that this thing, whatever it was awake. And in its silence, it spoke louder than any signal, challenging us to rethink our place in the cosmos. The global response was electric. Observatories from every corner of the planet joined the hunt, their instruments tuned to the object's elusive signature. NASA and ESA, alongside China's CNSA, shared data in a rare display of unity, planning new missions to probe the asteroid belt's secrets. The Interstellar Mapping and Acceleration Probe, set for launch, was retooled to scan for faint radiation bursts, hoping to catch the object if it stirred again. Citizen scientists, armed with archived sky maps, scoured the past for traces of its presence, wondering if it had lingered unnoticed for years, even centuries. Social media buzzed with debates, from wild conspiracies to sober speculation, while ethicists pondered the moral weight of studying something that might be more than a machine. If it was intelligent, did we have the right to probe it in secret? If it was ancient, was it a treasure or a warning? The object, dubbed the intruder, had become a mirror, reflecting humanity's hopes, fears, and insatiable curiosity. Behind the scenes, the task force grew tense. Leaked memos hinted at classified data, details of the object's size, its precise path, even faint fluctuations in its signal that suggested it might be powering up. Defense agencies, though cautious, ruled out immediate threat. Its slow, deliberate maneuvers suggested no hostility, only purpose. Yet the secrecy strained trust. Scientists demanded openness, arguing that a discovery this profound belonged to the world. The public, fueled by years of UFO lore and skepticism, pushed back harder, asking if governments were hiding the truth. The cultural ripples spread, touching every corner of thought. Religions grappled with the idea of cosmic neighbors, while philosophers asked if we were ready for a truth that could rewrite our story. For many, the object was a spark of wonder, proof that the universe might hold companions. For others, it was a shadow, a reminder of how small we are in the vast, silent dark. As the object continued its lonely journey, new plans took shape. JWST secured more imaging time, its lenses trained on the belt's uncharted arcs. Probes were proposed, daring missions to close the distance and peer at the object up close. What would we find? A scarred hull, a polished craft, or something beyond our imagination? The hunt was no longer just about science. It was about meaning, about confronting the unknown that had slipped into our backyard. The object hadn't spoken, hadn't flashed a signal, or vanished as some hoped or feared. Instead, it moved on, its path a quiet challenge to our assumptions. It was a reminder that the cosmos, for all our telescopes and equations, is still wild, full of possibilities we can't predict. Whether an interstellar wanderer, a dormant probe, or something else entirely, its presence changed us. We used to think discovery meant reaching for the stars, but maybe the first true contact comes not from distant galaxies, but from the quiet spaces between our own worlds, where the unknown has been waiting all along.